Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Surfacing Tech, the podcast for experts own ANZ. I'm your host Luke, and this week I'm going to be joined by Jett, Ali and Misa, and we've got a great conversation coming up. We're talking everything from accessories to avatars, Microsoft Word to wave machines. It's a great episode, I hope you really enjoy it. Remember, if you like this content and you want to see more like it, check out our social channels, we're posting stuff on there all the time. Hope you enjoy the show. I'm actually really looking forward to this episode, guys. I think we've got some great topics coming up. But first of all, we'll do a real quick intro and a quick weather report from your areas around the country. How you doing, Ali? How's the weather there in Canberra?
Absolutely perfect. 18 degrees. It was snowing 2 weeks ago, and now it's 18 degrees. Sun is out. I went on a huge motorbike ride with about 50 or 60 other riders the other day. It was,
oh wow!
Just fun.
Yeah. Yep. That sounds cool. That sounds like freedom.
There's nothing more freeing than I can guarantee that.
Yeah. Yeah. How about you, man? How you doing, Jett?
Yeah, pretty good. Weather here is very nice as well. We're actually supposed to hit a high of 27 this week, which is going to be pretty cool. So yeah, everything's good. Yeah, coming out of the cold winter, which I'm sick of. So yeah, bring on the sun.
Yeah. Do you know what I'm feeling now that we're in September? I'm just feeling pretty good. Just like I feel like the worst of the winter's over. Feeling pretty optimistic. Yeah, it's nice. It's a good feeling. How about you, Misa? You having a good week so far?
It is the first day of spring for us, which is when we're recording, the 1st of September, which is funny because I'm a spring baby, so I love this time of year. It's a lovely 17 degrees in Sydney, a little bit overcast, so that's my weather update, but excited to be here. What a good day to talk about tech.
Yeah, it's going to be a great episode. We've got a load of real good stuff coming up. The thing that I'm most excited about, we've got some brand new segments that we're going to try out. The first one, of course, being question of the week. Basically, the idea behind this is, every week or every episode, we chuck a question in there and we kind of go around and you guys give us your thoughts and feedback. I think it's just a good way to kind of get the conversation going, get those kind of like the gears moving, right? So, question of the week this week, like most people in the world, where the Microsoft team has had to kind of adapt to a work from home kind of situation, or at least kind of semi work from home, depending on what part of the country you're in. And we've all had to build like a home office or a home workplace or workstation. And I want to know, starting with you, Ali, if you had to pick two things from your new work from home setup, so one piece of hardware and one piece of software that you can't live without, what is it?
Okay, hardware-wise, it's got to be a second monitor. So started out with a single monitor like most people. At some point along the way, I bought another one, just ran the second one, and that's how it's been running for about 6 or 7 years. Recently, I upgraded to this awesome 4K G-Sync monitor. It's bigger than the previous two, so I was like, I'll get rid of it and I'll have more desk space.
Yeah.
I think I lasted 24 hours. No more than that. At the moment, because I sold both of the other monitors, I've got my 27-inch and I've got my ZenBook Duo sitting up on a laptop stand, and I'm using that as the second monitor. It's not ideal until I find the second monitor, but definitely second monitor. That increased productivity, just screen real estate.
Yeah.
Impossible to beat.
Definitely.
If I was going to go application, it would be tough. It would either be OneNote or it would be OneNote. Definitely OneNote. I use OneNote for almost everything these days. So I handwrite all my uni notes on it. I do like basic sketches and that sort of thing for some of the photography work I do. And I just use it as almost like a everyday checklist. I'm not the biggest fan of just typing everything out. I struggle to retain that info. So I do just a small checklist of what I need to do each day. And I just tick them off as I go on my phone. It's really fun to be.
Are you using it across a couple of different devices as well?
Yeah. So my Surface Go is what I take to work into university because it's light, it's portable, it's got the battery life and the power that I need when I'm just handwriting notes. My ZenBook Duo is where I do a majority more of my powerhouse work, and that's typically there to look over those notes I've already handwritten on the go.
Yeah.
It's on my phone as well, obviously for the checklist of to do every day, and it's mainly on my desktop so I can access documents like the document we used to plan this out, just so I can sit it on one half of the screen, I can sit a Word document on the other half of the screen and start, breaking down the questions and getting those key points across I need to talk about.
So Ali loves screens.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, long story short, no, that using that to-do list in OneNote is probably, that was going to be one of the things that I would have mentioned, because I think like working from home, it's so important to have a to-do list of, just kind of, just to remember everything that you've got on for that day, because I'm kind of real bad at, sort of switching workflows a lot, especially when I'm working from home. Like, you kind of go from doing like housework to, like video editing, and then you're like, making notes, or you're doing phone calls. So it's really important to, kind of keep track of everything that you've got to do. Good answer. How about you, Jett?
Yeah, well, thanks, Ali, for stealing OneNote from me. That was my big plan. So yeah, I have to agree with all those
quick.
things.
You got to think of a new one.
No, it's all good. I got to back up. The thing that I actually put a bit of thought into this, because the one thing that I can't live without is oddly my laptop. So I have a desktop that I use a lot, and I've got my little Surface Go for work, but my Surface Book, my main laptop, I'm actually using tons, like much more than you would think, being locked at home and not being able to do anything. For the freedom of just being able to go, I'm just going to go work outside today, or I'm just going to work in the lounge room, or I'm just going to work in the dining room, just so you can change that sort of scenery, or you want to sit in bed and you just want to do a bit of work. It's been really like, still, even though you're locked at home, you're not chained to a desk. Like, the modern workplace has changed, and so the laptop allows me to just keep moving. Yeah, wherever I need to work, or what I want to work on, or if I do want to escape the house for 5 minutes, I can go somewhere but still be connected, still do things. So that's definitely my hardware item. And then my software item is OneDrive. OneDrive, of course, which I'm sure we all love. But it just, building on that laptop, it allows me to just change. I don't have to think about it anymore. I remember the days where you had to have the external hard drive and USB, and I was just going to finish it on this computer, but I need to jump on the other one, so I'm going to save it and pull it out. Nightmare. So now I can be working on the desktop, I can be editing a video on the desktop, and then continue it on my laptop 2 seconds later, which is like, that's so powerful for me. Like, it's awesome. And like, I was out today, I was like on the train coming home from uni, and I had edited a document at uni on the uni Wi-Fi, and I just wanted to check something. So I just opened OneDrive on my phone and checked that document, which is just cool. Like, I didn't even think about it. I'm just like, oh, I just want to have a look at that. I know it's available on my phone. So that's, it's definitely the app that saves me, other than OneNote, saves me all the time.
Oh, nice, good answer. Yes, I think being able to access documents from every device, because most of the time, in my experience, it is just like you'd be on the train, or you'd be driving home, and you just think like, oh, did I do that? Did I tick that off my to-do list, or did I make a note of that? So it's good to be able to easily kind of access that from your phone or from any device and make those changes. How about you, Misa?
The boys have chosen a lot of what I had to say, which is great because we all work the same, which I love. I'm the same. I need a second monitor, but I might think outside of the box and maybe choose a tripod or a gorilla pod of some sort.
Oh, nice.
I've found so many different uses for using a tripod, whether or not it's sometimes like, I don't know, for some odd reason where I haven't used fast charging or something like that, and I've needed to take a conference call on my phone. I popped my phone on a tripod just so that I had like a good angle. I've also used it for scripts, so using a phone on another tripod next to a camera. So that's something that I've invested in a few, but a gorilla pod where you can pop it in different places allows me to sort of work in different ways. But then if I had to choose like a home office scenario, it'd probably be a dock. So I obviously use 3 monitors because I'm extra on top of the laptop monitor, so there's 4, and I've probably got YouTube running in the background somewhere, but a dock allows me to do that no problem, and most of my devices that I use are Surface, so no matter which one that I use, I can just dock in and it'll work, which is amazing, and all the added benefits of that. But then for my software, I might cheat again and choose Edge. Only because you can use that. That's like my main house, right? We were talking about working from anywhere, is like I can choose any device, go onto Edge, use Office Online, or, I've got LinkedIn loaded as a web app, and I've got City Morning Herald loaded as a web app. Like, I live in Edge, and because my browsing history is synced across my account, I've got a work account and a personal account, like just everything just makes my life so much easier. And if things can streamline things for me, then I'm all in. So I'm just gonna go blanket Microsoft Edge and try it out today because it's great.
Yeah. Very good. Yeah, that's I totally agree. Like switching between those work and personal accounts in Edge is so easy. And then when you're switching between work and personal OneDrives as well, and and OneNotes, and just all three together, it's just perfect.
What are you using, Luke? What is your hardware and software? Like, let's put the question of the week on you.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say OneDrive, and I was also going to say OneNote.
Wait, don't go laugh.
I have some backups, it's okay. So, hardware, I would say, and it's real simple, it's just a mouse. I've got a Surface Arc mouse, and do you know what, I don't know how I would have lived without it. Using like a trackpad on a Surface Pro type cover is fine but if you're doing really, kind of long form work, lots of typing, lots of like scrolling through like spreadsheets and that kind of thing, it's just you need a mouse to do it. Software wise, I don't know, so many. There's so many. I've kind of gone off topic a little bit with this answer. Because it's a game, it's technically
No, that's fine. You need some downtime to get through sometimes your work. Personal, we were just talking about personal and work. So like, what game is it?
It's Age of Empires. So Age of Empires 2. I remember playing it like years ago, and then when the New Zealand guys started doing our stream, right at the beginning of the lockdown period, I was like, I actually really like this game. And now I play it pretty regularly, and I think in 10 years, again, if I look back or like play that game again, I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, I remember I was stuck in my house for a very long time.
It's like a game time capsule. You can revisit it each time you need to just stay at home, which is, I'll let you have that because it's a Windows, you're playing it on a Windows machine, which is awesome. And I bet, like, we can spin it, you're learning about civilizations and how to be strategic. So you can put that into work.
It's history and strategic thinking all in one.
And a secret shout out to the New Zealand Dream Team who do awesome streams on our YouTube channel. So check that one out. I was just trying to give you some props there.
In a good way. They're chaotic in a good way.
I think we were talking earlier that a lot of people are bringing out new tech for workflows, right?
Yeah. One big one that sticks out is Razer have brought out a new line of kind of like workplace accessories, I guess. So they're not gaming keyboards, but they've used a lot of their technology that they've developed making gaming accessories and put it into that market for work from home and for home workplaces and stuff. And they're really nice. Have you guys checked them out? Have you seen them?
Yeah, I've had a bit of a look. They look really good. Like, they follow that Razer sort of design aesthetic a little bit. No, they're not super gamery, but I just love it because I recommend game keyboards to so many people for just the sheer fact that they're built really well. They're just designed really, really well because they need to be robust. And so it's going to be so much easier to go to someone and go, you should buy this one. One, it looks good, but it also has all that underlying tech that's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
So it's just going to make that transition for customers to go from that traditional, just standard, boring black keyboard to a gaming one, just that like middle step, which I think is going to be really cool.
Yeah.
Can I ask, out of us, who uses a mechanical gaming style keyboard for their everyday? Hands up, Ali. That's me too. And I find it interesting because when you consider buying a laptop now, like keyboard travel for computer aficionados is a huge thing, right? Having keyboard travel, something that's typing, but you cannot get a mechanical keyboard in an Ultrabook, right? Like it's not a thing. It goes against all the design aesthetics. And while, a Surface Book or one of the high-end OEM Ultrabooks will have fantastic gaming travel, keyboard travel, not gaming travel. If you are someone who types a lot, try out a mechanical keyboard, because it really emulates, like for me, like it sort of reminds me of like the typewriter, right? But if you are someone who is in that flow, working a lot, I've had to develop a lot of scripts in this lockdown, and I moved to a Steel Series Quiet Touch or something keyboard, and it changed the game for when I'm sitting down and typing for like 4 hours on end. So I have seen in this sort of past 6 months a lot of people bypassing like the normal keyboards and going to the gaming keyboards, because it's starting to gain traction. So I love that they're sort of melding these two worlds together, because people that work on their computers, why not leverage the learnings from the gaming community who spend a lot of time in front of their computer as well?
Yeah, that's a really good point actually that you brought that up. Because another article that I was looking at, another company I was looking into, there's a company, I think they're called KP Republic, and they make kind of like retro style keyboards. The first time I saw them, it popped up on Instagram. It was just like an ad for them, and I was like, okay, I'm intrigued. I'll click your ad.
It worked.
And they just make those kind of like the ones that I saw advertised on Instagram were like that kind of like beige with like black and orange keys on. Like from like the sort of 80s and early 90s and stuff. And I was like, that looks pretty cool. But they're really well made, and they're also completely customizable as well. So going the other way, you can actually get like get the gaming keys as well. So you can switch out all of your kind of key tops into like a gaming setup as well. That's another sort of nice advancement in technology, where you kind of, it's nice and broad for everybody. Like everybody can get what they want from that product.
And you mentioned customizable. Best thing about gaming keyboards are one that you can change the keys if you want to. If you like have a change of style and you want it to be firmer or harder or quieter or louder or whatever it is, but then you can clean them as well. Which is just super convenient.
So true.
And there's a bunch of like cleaning equipment that's like a whole other bit of nerdy fun times, but like it is a cool thing, and something to think about when you're using something day in and day out. It's really important, like little tweaks like that, and investing in a good setup, like a proper keyboard. Try it out, see how you like it, because I mean, we all swear by it.
On the topic of accessories, I don't know if you guys checked out the new partnership between Microsoft and Bridge, who are now creating some new devices just for us. And the biggest one that caught my eye was the trackpad. So they're coming out with an external trackpad that'll connect, I believe it's via Bluetooth, to Windows devices. And then it gives you precision, like the Windows precision drivers, and that will allow gestures on a desktop, which for me, I love. Like Microsoft builds these really, really cool features, like the multiple desktops, being able to switch between them. And like right now, you guys are on my work desktop, and if I slide to the left, I have all my stuff, and if I slide to the right, I'm sure I've got Steam updating something. And so just being able to manage everything is really, really cool. But just being able to take advantage of that quickly and scroll, like I do it on my laptop all the time, and that's why I love my laptop. But now I can bring that to the desktop space, which is going to be really, really cool.
That's awesome. There was some good answers. I think we covered all the big names there as well.
I think we did.
That was really... Okay, guys. So every week we talk about some new feature update or something new that's come up from Microsoft in the news, and usually it's something that we can kind of trial and have a bit of a chat about. This week we've had some real good stuff that's come out. So one of the big ones is transcribe and voice commands in Dictate in Word. Misa, have you had a chance to try this out, and what do you think?
Yeah, it was announced last week, and it's super cool. So the transcribe in Word, which is available on the online version of Word or Word Online, will allow you to do either import a file, a voice recording or a video or something like an audio file into Word, and it will transcribe that interaction, and it'll even do things like dictate exactly who speaker 1 and speaker 2 is and give you timestamps. But if you don't have a recording, you can just open up Word Online and then just start transcribing within the file as well. So you can just open it up, start an interview, and I can see so many different, and people might think like, oh, we've had dictation in Word before, but it's a little bit different. Transcribing allows you to take I could take this audio from this podcast and put it into this and be able to get the transcribe, which to be able to do that in other software can be quite tedious, or adding, multiple different workflows. The fact that it's built into Word and is available in your Microsoft 365 subscription is amazing. Have you guys had a chance to play around with it or think about where you would use this in your real life?
I couldn't believe that it can pick up different speakers. Like, yes, it can pick up voice. That's cool. Lots of people can do that. But being able to go, no, this is a different voice for each person, that blew me away. And I was watching some of the demo videos, and then I played around with it, where you can take a quote from someone and just drag it into your Word document. And so you just when you're making that presentation, you can go, well, this guy said this, and we can just drag that straight in. And I just feel like it removes barriers. As you said, instead of adding all these extra workflows in, you can just do it all yourself, which is really, really cool.
It literally breaks it up into really easy, accessible chunks. Which you can drag and drop in, and it's just so easy to use. How about you, Ali? Have you tried it out?
I have. I've actually, at this very moment, I have an assignment, and one of the big major parts of the assignment is I need to do a big transcription of about a 40-minute interview. Now, that would have been tedious as nothing else. But then I did try it, and it was almost perfect. And I can especially see it being really handy for content creators. So one of the big things that's really, really expensive for content creators is if they're making content for people in different languages or want to do transcription of them. If you don't want to use the auto-generated one by whatever provider, you have to get someone to do the transcription, and it is not cheap. So just that matter, just helping smaller content creators and organizations who may not be able to afford it to still release that content in multiple different languages with transcription is just amazing. I absolutely love it. I can definitely see a big market for it.
I love that you hit on there just the accessibility for different languages and the accessibility for, creators or anyone that has access to this feature, because by definition, by transcribing, you're then able to add closed captioning and just that extra step in accessibility, which is just so important. Can I just say, I'm so jealous that I'm not going to school or university right now, because you've got PowerPoint Designer that does half your assignments for you. You've got, PowerPoint Presenter Coach that'll tell you if you're doing a good job or not. And then you've got a transcription thing within Word to be able to do all your work for you. I'm wanting to go back to study so I can use this stuff. But I do use it in my work. So that's actually really cool. But man, I'm jealous. Chances are, if you do have an education Microsoft account, check it out, see whether or not you have access to it. But I will caveat, it is in that online Word version. I believe that there is updates coming to potentially have it in the software, and it will be coming to mobile later in the year as well, from what I read. But check it out in the online version, because I think all of us, hand on heart, have used the online version of our Office software or applications, and it's sort of people might say, oh, why isn't it in the the actual application? But then it removes the barrier. You're able to use that feature on just an Edge browser, not necessarily just Microsoft Edge. It also will work in Chrome browsers as well, so you can definitely use it in Google Chrome. So check it out.
So this week, just like last week, we have we have a name change. It used to be called Jett Tests, but we've changed the name because we've rebranded and we're just keeping up with the times. It's now called Under the Surface. Is that right, Jett?
That's right.
We've rebranded you.
So same sort of idea, but just a bit catchier name, so we can get it out in the public.
And it works with our podcast title, Surfacing Tech Podcast and Under the Surface Technology. I love it.
Professional.
Yeah, everything's coming together. So this week we've got kind of an interesting one. We've got Jett looking at Azure and using virtual machines. Do you want to just give us, before we jump over and take a look at the video, Jett, do you want to just give us a quick rundown of what you took a look at?
Yeah, awesome. So Microsoft Azure, most people probably aren't aware of, but it's a big part of Microsoft. It's their cloud computing service, which is basically, and I explained it in the video, but it's just being able to access computer power online. That's as simple as it is. And so in the video, I take advantage of that and go, well, what can you do if you have all this computing power that you can just access through the internet?
Well, yeah, it's an awesome video. I had a little look earlier on, but let's jump over now, and we'll take a look.
So what do you guys think of my new computer? Hi everyone, this is Jett for Under the Surface. Now I'm not showing off a new Surface, let's start with that. My little Surface Go is being powered by Microsoft Azure. Microsoft Azure is awesome. It powers some amazing technology, including the upcoming xCloud that will allow gamers to play Xbox titles on their phone or tablet. Now I'm pretty sure most people won't have come across Microsoft Azure. So let's start with what it is. Azure is Microsoft's cloud computing software. Cloud computing is on the rise with cloud storage like OneDrive, streaming like Netflix, and even your email. So I'd say you've probably come in touch with it before. Cloud technology is just the ability to access resources online. In the case of OneDrive, it's your files. With Netflix, it's those awesome movies that you want to stream on the go. And for Azure, it's computing power. It's like having a supercomputer that you can access online. Currently, Microsoft Azure is mostly targeted at businesses, which offer some amazing tools and services. So companies like BMW, HP, Adobe, and even ASOS are already taking advantage of Azure to improve their businesses. So why would I be interested in it? Of course, I'm looking forward to xCloud's release, and stay tuned because we have a video coming up where we're going to show off Xbox game streaming, which is currently in preview in Australia. So get subscribed so you don't miss out on that. But I'm not a giant company, so why would I want Azure? You might have connected the dots from the intro, but I'm interested in one specific feature of Azure: virtual desktops. Many people may use virtual desktops or remote desktops in their work. Virtual desktops is just the ability to access a computer remotely and use its resources. But why would I want to do that? I have a great computer sitting on my desk. The keyword is virtual. A virtual desktop gives you tons of benefits over a traditional computer. So things like, if I need to upgrade it, it just takes a few clicks. Now, because we're talking about supercomputers, you could say I have access to some amazing specs. We're talking 416 core CPUs and 11,400 gigabytes of RAM. Wait, let's think about that. That's 11,400 gigabytes of RAM. That's over 11 terabytes of RAM. My laptop, which is pretty good, has 16 gigabytes of RAM. So you could say that their computer can handle a pretty crazy workload. And all I have to do to access this is click. It comes with other benefits as well. It actually doesn't matter if I'm at home or on the go, because all I need to access this amazing service is the internet. So I can even access it on things like my phone. Because I'm using a computer that's used at a Microsoft data center, you could say it also has some pretty awesome internet. So what could you do with all this power? Well, anything really. You can game, video edit, just surf the web. It's still a computer after all. It's just super powered computer that you can use anywhere. Now I'm using a student account to access all of these amazing features. And paying for these services at the moment might not fit everyone's budget. However, I just wanted to show off how powerful this type of technology is. It's the beginning to become a normal tool for businesses, and it's even accessible to the average person. You can just sign up and get an account. The technology changes what is needed in a computer. Performance specs become less important, and features like battery life, weight, and the ability to always be connected to the internet. Wait a second. So I hope you enjoyed this look into what I believe is the future of computing. Stay tuned for the next Under the Surface and comment below because I'm interested to hear what you would use the power of a virtual machine for.
That's a really good, nice little insight into virtual machines and Azure. I think let's put you on the spot a little bit. Let's ask you some questions. Has anyone got any questions they want to throw Jett's way?
Yeah, Jett. Okay, so being in Canberra, very public servant heavy, and now all public servants, most of the departments end up using Citrix. So, remote computing, virtual desktops, that sort of thing. And I always get asked the question, I want to put it to you since you've had a bit of experience with it now. Do you notice a experience change between, for example, a low spec machine, a medium spec machine, and maybe a high spec machine, or just the low and high specifically?
Good question. Good to start. The biggest difference is not so much between low end and high end. There's a few specs that really stand out. So things like having a really good internet connection. And so if you're buying a latest computer, it should have the latest Wi-Fi 6 chip in it. Doesn't matter if you buy the top end or the bottom end, they all have that sort of Wi-Fi chip, which is very, very important. And then it's just having like the bare minimum, just the basic sort of stuff. So having enough RAM that you can turn the computer on and run the desktop, which like 4 could probably do it. I ran it on 8GB machines, which is smooth, and you don't really have anything running in the background because you're literally just logging straight on. So you don't need a ton of RAM. You don't really need any storage at all because you don't actually store anything on your computer. You store it, and I used OneDrive. So if I was off, like if I was not in the virtual machine, I could access my whole library of everything. And when I logged into the virtual machine, I could access my whole library of everything in OneDrive. So it removes that sort of need. So yeah, it kind of, and that's what I talked about at the end. It changes the focus of computing. You no longer need these super high powered machines. You just need something okay. I wouldn't say don't go cheap out and get something really, really basic, because you might find that they use a slower end Wi-Fi chip or they just can't handle. But something basic can definitely do it for you. And then it becomes important to go, well, what are the other features that I need? I need something that's lightweight. I need something with battery life. I need something that can connect. I need something with a good screen. Like that's when a really good looking screen is important, because you're going to be looking at it all day. Why not spend a bit extra on something like that? But yeah, it definitely changes that. You don't need the best spec in the world. You just need something good. And then you just subscribe basically to whatever spec you do need, which also, and I didn't say it in the video, it means you can adjust. So at Christmas time, you probably don't need the best computer in the world. You're not doing a lot of work. So you can actually downscale. You can go, I don't need all this spec. I'll just downscale a bit. And then when it comes to the end of the semester for uni, or like we're editing videos, you could literally just up your spec for that day. You can go, just today, I need really high specs because I need to do this job. And then as soon as you're finished, you can scale it back down, which hardware just doesn't allow.
What I've loved that you've done there is sort of explain cloud computing in a really easy to understand way. So like you've just explained how you can up and down your personal computer. But if we think about like these, and there's maybe a bit above us, but like cloud computing is so awesome because it powers these major organizations. And like if we think about Click Frenzy, these companies are upscaling their, cloud computing capability to have this massive flow of customers come through, and then when it's not that busy, they downscale. And putting that into perspective into like a real world application into consumers' hands, which is probably a little bit unique. But you've just explained that. I've had someone's tried to ask me like, can you explain cloud computing to me? I'm going to use your analogy and your experience a little bit, because it's a really interesting way to put cloud computing into a perspective that an everyday person could understand. Love that.
I've got one question for you. Do you think is it something that an everyday person can get into? Like, is it quite easy to set up, or is it, does it take a bit of technical knowledge?
Yeah, a little bit of technical knowledge. I don't allude to in the 7-minute video the 2 hours or whatever I took beforehand to get it all set up and working on the different machines. It is a little bit involved, and you have to be like, I'd never done it before, so even though I'm tech savvy, I consider myself techie. It was still a little bit out of my normal wheelhouse, and I had to learn on the go and go, oh, this is what this is, and this is why I need this. And you have to set up things a bit differently than you would on a normal computer. You just buy your computer normally. With this, you actually have to go, oh, I need storage for this computer. I'm going to set up a storage section of it. And then I need to pick my computer. So what specs do I need? And you've got to think about these things and go, I need this spec. Okay, so let's make sure that's activated. And then how am I going to log in? And so there's a few little things that you've got to do, which make it maybe not like clicking a button. Like Netflix is super easy. It uses cloud tech as well, where you just go, I want to watch this show, and you just click it and it plays. So it's not that level yet, but the whole purpose of the video is to go, it's getting there. So like I just used a student account, I signed in, I could set it up. I watched some really great YouTube videos that are out there that show you how to set it up. I set it up, and within a couple of hours I had it going. And then once I've got it going now, like I could activate it in one click. I've got a shortcut, click it, activate it, away I go. So it's just about changing things over and going, this is where things are going. It's really awesome. Like, it gives you so many more benefits.
Yeah, they're really, really good, really insightful. Yeah, I loved it.
Loved it. A little bit different, and it was going under the surface of technology, which I loved. So
Yep.
awesome segment.
Yeah.
I found an awesome article this week. The reason I like this is because I think this is what people in like the 1980s thought the future was going to be. So I don't know if you guys heard about this. There's a company in Estonia, actually.
Yep.
You don't hear Estonian come up in a lot of tech news.
No.
But they've developed their idea basically is to build they've built an engine that creates an avatar from a selfie, which their goal is that you can use it across lots of different platforms. I think it's awesome, and I think I can totally see how it would be really useful, especially in this world that we've already spoken. Where we're working from home and we're doing online conferences and we're learning from home. We've got online classrooms to quickly be able to just take a selfie. It turns into an avatar, and then you can use that in every sort of version of online that you are, basically. So I know that me and Misa, do you remember when we did that kind of online trainer event?
Yeah.
And you had to build your own avatar, and I spent like an hour making like this Freddie Mercury looking.
Which I won an award for that event for the best selfie because I took a selfie of myself dressed like my avatar, green screened myself in, and then put my avatar next to myself. And I won a prize for it, selfie queen apparently. But yeah, no, it's really fun to either create yourself or what you want to be or a funny joke or something like that. What I love about this is that also some people don't want themselves on the internet, like just brass tacks, right? Like you just maybe don't want a photo of you on a social platform, but you still want to connect. And I've seen a lot of my friends take a photo of their dog or, and that's what's on their Facebook page. Whereas this allows them to be themselves, but not to put too much of themselves out there. It gives a little bit of, nice little touch. And the fact that you can use it across different platforms and stuff like that is cool. But yeah, like, why not? But I loved creating the avatar. So it's like a little bit of gamification, personality, but then giving people choices. I'm interested to see if it'll take off. But choices are good.
Yeah. I think it definitely needs a bit of, like, if it got kind of adopted by like the game developers and the gaming community and everything, it could be really cool. Like imagine if you're, for example, you go in to play Minecraft, and you've already got your kind of 3D avatar there, but it kind of transforms to fit like the aesthetic of Minecraft.
Yeah.
And then you can, there would be some kind of trade-off with like, resources and stuff that you've collected in the game, but I haven't completely thought this through.
But that reminds me of, was anyone a Nintendo Wii person and spent hours creating their Mii character? Like, I loved that process. And yeah, like if you could pop into a game and be yourself, that would be cool. Or some sort of like Super Smash Bros, but you could choose your own character. Like, amazing.
Yeah.
And when you
really
have
cool.
that grudge against someone, you can go, oh, come over, we'll play Super Smash, and you can play as each other and get that feeling. And you smash them. Yes, it was so good.
Well, imagine like like Tekken or like Mortal Kombat or like so like where you're playing as yourself.
Can I ask, when you guys create avatars, do you create avatars that look like yourself, or do you create an avatar that's completely different?
Completely different.
Completely different.
Put super muscly guy. Oh, definitely. Just
Yeah. You just go to the gym 7 days a week. Yeah.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah.
Yeah, I like to make myself a slight bit taller than I am in real life. But it's a digital character, so
Why not?
no one will know the difference.
No, I love this. Like, there's so many. And Ali, you're probably the same with like these online classrooms. And some classes you go to, they're just full of black screens. There'll be like two people on the camera, and then just everything's black. And like, it just doesn't feel like you're actually engaging with anyone. You just get these voices. You may as well be watching a video or something. And so if you could like put that in, that'd be amazing. And then you can actually have a semi like realistic conversation with all these different people, and they can feel comfortable as well. So you get that win-win. And then 5 minutes after that, you can take that same character and be playing FIFA, and you can be playing it with the guy that you just had class with or whatever. Like that's really cool to me. That's yeah.
It'd be interesting if it could be taken a step further, where you could design your character and then it would use your webcam, but more to track your facial motions. So
Like,
your lips, for example, and then it will mimic it onto the character you created. Because I'm like, my classes, I'm not sure if it's an unspoken rule or what, but including the lecturer, no one has their webcams on, and I find it really distancing. I'm not used to it, and honestly, I lose like any intention to engage very, very quickly into the tutorial. And I don't know. I just need faces. I need to know who I'm talking to, who I'm, discussing the topic about.
Very, very important. Like, no one likes talking into a black void, right? Something that I do is, even if someone is not on video, is that I make myself go on video because it keeps me accountable for eye contact, all of that stuff. And it would be fun to see a little bit of personality behind like who you're speaking to as well. Like, it adds a little bit of character. I think they're going through like sporting like crazy when it comes to like, digital concerts and what that would look like. And if I think back to that virtual event that we went to, like, we were avatars and we were jumping up and down, and although it was rather, crazy game like, it still felt like you were somewhat interacting with someone on the other side as opposed to just some blank default. And I think that will be cool, how they can like put, like, Spotify just announced that they're doing like a virtual like concert platform, like, how the audience is represented and how that plays into this technology is awesome. And whether or not it's through conferencing things like Teams or Zoom or through basic avatars, getting people out there is cool.
Yeah. And just to wrap this up, we've got one more segment this week. It's a brand new segment. We're going to be doing it every episode, and it's tech in sport. So we've covered a couple of tech in sport subjects before. I think there was like e-scooter racing, and there was a couple
NBA with teams.
NBA, teams in NBA, yeah, that's right. So yeah, loads of really cool tech in sport topics. This week we're talking, and I'm going to throw this one over to you, Jett, to give us a little bit more insight into this. There's a new wave machine that's been built in Queensland, and it looks really fun. From what I can tell, can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Yeah, so in the last couple of weeks, this new wave machine got tested in Queensland. So wave machines aren't necessarily new, and if you don't know, it's basically just a giant swimming pool, but it can make waves that look like the beach. This one's really, really cool though, because it can vary the type of wave that it gives out. And so if you're a professional surfer, you can use it to train, and it can actually throw different waves at you so that you can learn how to deal with different things. Or like right now, there was a few professional trainers using it, and they can't travel around the world necessarily, but they can test the wave that they're going to go and surf, which is crazy. Like, it's really weird. And then on the flip side of that, on the non-professional end, it means that people that don't necessarily want to go out into the beach or can't go to the beach or just don't feel comfortable or whatever else, they can still access the waves. So people can learn to surf, they can lower the levels down, people can learn how to surf, or they can just enjoy the waves in a more controlled environment. It has 5 different levels, and that's why it's called the 5 waves. That's what the tech's called. They're trialing, they've got two sites in the US already kicked off, and 2 in Australia, which is awesome. And another, just a little side note on the waves, they're also trialing sustainable surfboards that when they break in half, which I've learned is inevitable with some of the waves they surf, these ones will just degrade. So they won't just float around in the surf for ages. They'll degrade and it'll all be cool. So yeah, really, really cool company doing something really, really cool.
Yeah, I think the one thing that struck me about this is, and you probably didn't think about this either, is that with surfing, it's probably the only environment that you can't recreate exactly every time. Like, if you're learning to kick conversions in rugby, you can set the ball up in the same place every time and but you can't do that when you're surfing.
No.
But now you can. You can essentially surf the same wave over and over and over again. I think that's really cool.
I fell into one of my YouTube black holes a couple weeks ago when I stumbled across someone going to an abandoned water park and turning the wave pool into a surf machine. And what's interesting was that traditional like basic wave pools will only go one direction. The wave will come in one way, either right or left, and then what they've been doing is finding these, abandoned water parks and re-engineering the wave pools to create like these like wave simulators. The fact that this one is so advanced, and then you can chuck so many different things at it, and allowing it to be access to the public, which I read in the news as well, in future is awesome. But yeah, I fell into this weird black hole, but it's so true. And the fact that you could get so good at a wave pool, but like these basic ones, like you get back into the water, and have any of you surfed? Because I've tried and I'm terrible. But being able to practice in something like this and opening it up to intermediate and beginner people as well, where they're looking at doing that, allows more access to a sport that is quite difficult to learn. But then also it's I believe, not necessarily in a beach town either. So it's allowing accessibility to that sport, whereas you previously would have had to go to the coast to do that, or live in a country that you do have a big surfing culture and you're able to do that, or do it on a holiday like I tried to in Hawaii and failed miserably and will never do it again. But I loved it, and I think it'll be awesome to see how they can use it, and if they open more up around the world as well.
Yeah, I think they're really...
Also, tidbit, anyone who's scared of the ocean, which is also a big thing as well, just the vast water and animals of it. Like, if you've got a fear of that, but you've always wanted to experience the thrilling nature, as I've been told what surfing is, it allows people to access that too.
As always, it's been really fun talking to you. It's always good to hear what you've got to say about these different topics. It's been a really good episode. For anyone out there watching and listening, remember, all you retail guys, keep it locked into Expert Zone for all the latest articles, news, accreditations, and giveaways, and all that good stuff from Microsoft. If you like this content and you want to check out more like it, remember to check out all of our social channels. We're posting it all the time. And we'll see you guys very soon. Thanks a lot, guys. It's been fun.
Yeah.
That is.
Bye.
See you.